Hey, what's up, low-hanging fruit? It's been a while, and D3 has happened over a week ago now, or maybe even 2 weeks by the time I release this video. So I don't got no time to waste. So without further ado, I'm Dwightsmith. So let's get into the 20th Century Studios, Marvel, and Lucasfilm showcase. I just want to start off by saying that this showcase actually was not live streamed on D23's actual live stream on their official website. And of course, that was due to some of the exclusive trailers and first looks at some of the projects that were being talked about at this year's D23. So unfortunately, most of the fan base, including myself, who couldn't make it in person, had to follow different Twitter pages to get constant updates and the trailers and when they dropped and everything. I was on Twitter myself and I was following at Discussing.film, who I want to give a personal shout out to. Thank you all for putting in that work. All their information was 100% on point. No jokes, no memes, no nothing, no false information. It was just all up to date, to the minute, pretty much, almost really. It was more up to date than most of the other Twitter pages out there, including the official D23 Expo Twitter page themselves. And of course, this has nothing to do with the actual video, but I wanted to give them their props and just say how much it freaking bugged me. How could the D23 page not even, whatever, on with the video. So we're gonna just go ahead and jump right into it, and we're gonna be doing it in the same order that it was all announced though. We're gonna be starting with Lucasfilm. So of course, a huge amount of Star Wars has been talked about. Really, only Star Wars, obviously, it's Lucasfilm, come on now. So first we had Diego Luna come up to talk about his starring role in Andor, the 24 episode series that has officially started this past Wednesday as of this recording. Andor is a spy thriller that is based 5 years before the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. It's essentially about the rise of the rebel hero Cassian Andor. The 3-episode premiere has dropped already. I am about 2 episodes in now. It's starting a little slow for my liking, but I do understand the pacing. It's a 24 episode season, so slow and steady wins the race, and I for one cannot wait until we get more into the spy thriller aspect of it all. I literally said it's all Star Wars, but I'm immediately proven wrong because I just remembered as soon as Andor was talked about, they brought up Warwick Davis, who stars in the new Disney Plus series Willow. Willow is a live action adventure series that actually is a continuation of a story told back in the 1988 classic in Downwee. I've never actually seen it before, but it was apparently directed by Ron Howard and produced by, of course, George Lucas himself, since being on Lucasfilm. And I need to go back and watch this movie from the 80s myself because from the looks of it, it's looking pretty impressive. I'm loving anything that's live action adventure fantasy. I'm 100% in. So I definitely want to get more invested in this for sure before it drops. Later in November 30th to be more exact. Next up, we had The Bad Batch Season 2. They did show some images from Season 2 for the 16-episode season. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too thrilled or enthralled by Bad Batch. I was very excited when they were introduced in the Clone Wars. I was very excited to start Season 1. I am still watching Season 1 a year later. It lacks significance, unfortunately, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm too much of a lightsaber guy. I do love the animation. I love the Clone Wars, and I love the Bad Batch's animation that follows suit, and it follows that storyline, which is why I'm still going to watch it. But unfortunately, I know for me anyway, but apparently not for a lot of people because it's getting to Season 2, it hasn't captured me in the same way, but I do love the characters, don't get me wrong. Next, we have Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. So this amazing title is actually made up of 6 brand new animated, gorgeously animated, may I add, shorts from the prequel era. And it seems to follow Count Dookie. I don't know how to say that. Count Dookie, okay. And all 6 seem to follow in the adventures of Count Dooku back when he was still a Jedi, and Ahsoka Tano, and both of them facing similar challenges. And apparently we don't have to wait too long for this because all of the shorts will drop at the same time on October 26th. And speaking of, next up was Ahsoka. And Ahsoka, of course, played by the enthralling Rosario Dawson, who brings the character to life in this live action led series. So even though Rosario wasn't there at D23 herself, he still had, of course, the legend, the man himself that kind of pretty much made Marvel along with Kevin Feige, and also made a lot of the popular Lucasfilm products we know and love today, like The Mandalorian, Jon Favreau. So basically, if you watch The Mandalorian, you already know that Ahsoka seems to be hunting a very particular threat in the universe after the fall of the Empire. So that's what this show is going to be more so focused on, just being a kick-ass protagonist, which she's been doing since the Clone War days. It's that simple. It is slated to be released in 2023, and hopefully it does not get pushed back. We've been hoping and praying for this for a long time, so hopefully they can get that off the ground and onto Disney Plus exclusively in 2023. We also had a short introduction to Star Wars Skeleton Crew. I'm not sure about what's exactly going on here, but from my understanding, it's just basically a find your way home type of movie off some Homeward Bound stuff, but instead for kids. Jude Law also stars in it, so we'll see what this has to bring in the future when we have a trailer and more to go off of. Of course, since they had Master Favreau up on stage, he could not get off without, of course, talking about The Mandalorian Season 3. Of course, with this, they also brought up Pedro Pascal, who plays the Mando himself, and more cast and crew. They then dropped a little teaser trailer, which was a lot more previous entries for The Mandalorian and Grogu instead of more newer stuff, but it was a few things there to get us a little more hyped for it. I still believe they're finishing up editing, so that is slated to come out in 2023 as well. So be ready for more Mando and Grogu in 2023. And then, once again, getting away from Star Wars, they actually ended up ending the Lucasfilm portion of the showcase with Indiana Jones 5, which was, I believe, announced officially a while back, but now we get a little bit more from it from Mr. Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones himself. Of course, most people speculate, and we're pretty sure this will be Harrison Ford's final bout as Indiana Jones himself. Whether they move on with the franchise after this is up to the ratings, I'm assuming, of this final one, and whatever new blood they decide to bring into this movie, because there's no way they're having Harrison carry this all by himself. In terms of Indiana Jones, I'm actually pretty happy they're coming in for another bout. I know a lot of people were not enthusiastic about the fourth bout with Shia LaBeouf. Shia's getting better. He's getting better, folks. So be sure you polish up on your last 4 Indiana Jones movies and look forward to a trailer, hopefully early to mid-summer of next year. And now it's time to move on to the greatest stuff, boy. We're talking about Marvel Studios, folks. They've come through to light up our worlds yet again. Starting off with the amazing Black Panther Wakanda Forever, baby. Now, I've talked a lot about the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer that they released I believe a few months ago, and so I talked about that more in my MCU Phase 4 video, so go check that out if you want to hear any personal thoughts about that. Because they didn't really share anything too much new about Black Panther. It's really more of just a waiting game until November, until it finally comes out. It's in theaters for us to freaking get it and love and enjoy. Remember, for all my folks out there, the attire is all white when you're going to see Black Panther this year, all white. Unsurprisingly, they also had some first looks at Ironheart, the Disney Plus series that will be coming in 2023. Ryan Coogler, who's the director of Black Panther 1 and now 2, is actually executive producing Ironheart, so he was able to share first images and first looks with the in-person crowd. But ultimately, we find out that, of course, Riri Williams will be returning, obviously, and that the events of Ironheart will take place immediately after Black Panther 2. And then, of course, to wrap up the Ant-Man trilogy, we had the Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania, which will officially be kicking off Phase 5 starting next year. We were, of course, treated to Paul Rudd, Jonathan Majors, and Miss Lily, of course. So remember back at the beginning of the video when I said they didn't live stream it due to first looks and exclusive trailers? Yeah, that was pretty much all just Marvel, really. All of Lucasfilm pretty much released all of their trailers as soon as they were debuted at D23. It's really Marvel that's pretty stingy with most of their content. So actually, come to find out, the same trailer they showed here at D23 for Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania was actually the same one shown at San Diego Comic-Con. So even though the public still has not got any of this juicy content, they weren't really getting anything too special, I guess. All I do know that excites me highly is there is a point in the trailer where Kang is confronting Ant-Man and most likely even the Wasp, and Ant-Man, proclaims himself to be an Avenger, and then Kang, seeming confused, as like, oh, you're an Avenger? Have I killed you before? So of course, just a bunch of multiverse, a bunch of different universes, already being teased. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. Doctor Strange did an amazing job with the multiverse concept, as we've talked about before. And now Ant-Man's coming in with his piece. The multiverse saga is going to be incredible. And then we got treated to a special presentation by Marvel, which is Werewolf by Night. So this property is coming sooner than most, in October 7th. I believe when Marvel says special presentation, I believe it means this is literally a one-shot, a one-off type of movie deal, where it's not really connected to the MCU, possibly could be, but this isn't for the overall story arc that the MCU is telling. This is literally a special presentation. This is something they made specially for Halloween, for the season, for all to enjoy. And of course, Werewolf by Night is still comic based, so this is still 100% for the fans. And not just comic book fans, but also fans of 70s, 80s, the old school style scary movies, which this one, it is still a scary movie, but just the way scary movies and horror movies in general have evolved, it becomes more of a comedy slash thriller type of situation. So of course we can look forward to that on Disney Plus October 7th, which is only about a week or two away at this point. And then of course Secret Invasion was given more details. The reason I and so many others are so hyped about Secret Invasion is because this can literally flip the MCU on its head, as it did in the comic books. To be honest with you, I can go either way with Secret Invasion. If this becomes a self-contained one-off type of situation, I'll be fine with that. We don't have to make any crazy changes to the MCU. I'm completely fine with that. But on the other hand, if it does give us these major changes that literally affect every other Disney Plus show, every other MCU movie moving forward, then that is the bigger impact that we look for in all MCU properties, to be honest with you. Immediately following was Armor Wars, with Don Cheadle coming out on stage, talking a little bit about that and how it was making it. As we all know, the MCU timeline is very, very important to most fans, which is why they always make sure to let you know exactly what comes after what. So they actually do mention how Armor Wars comes immediately after Secret Invasion, which Don Cheadle is also involved in some form or fashion. I'm not sure how much he'll be involved in that, or if he even really is. The only thing for sure that we can say about it, we don't have any concrete details on the story as of yet, but we can be sure to see Rhodey in all his glory, and also multiple different new suits for the War Machine himself are guaranteed to pop up in the series, so that is definitely something to look forward to. We can't go anywhere without the God of Mischief right there making us want even more. Loki Season 2 was given a trailer, a first look trailer, exclusive trailer I should say, being as though of course none of us got to see it, but most of the cast and crew came out to greet the fans. It was a fun time, I'm pretty sure of. Don't tell anybody, but actually literally this morning on Twitter I found some footage of the Season 2 trailer that they showed, and from what I've seen, they do a very good job in making sure everything stays a puzzle but keeps you drawn in. So literally can't tell a lot of what's going on in the footage in terms of story plot wise, that is, but it still looks amazing, it still looks good, and definitely leaves you in suspense of how everything turned out after Season 1's finale. Then we were treated to Fantastic Four. Not officially, we still weren't treated to any Fantastic Four goodies, but we do officially have a director for it now in form of, what's his name again? Max Schachman. I want to go with Schachman, who actually directed every episode of WandaVision, most people's favorite Phase 4 property so far. And apparently they even have a slated release date for the film already, which is November 8th, 2024. And then we have a little bit from Echo. Most of you may already remember Echo from the Hawkeye series, where she had a breakout role. She was definitely a crowd favorite from that series. And now she's getting her own series where we'll get a little bit more about her background and her future in the MCU. From the cast coming up on stage, we were also greeted and delighted to find out that Kingpin himself, Vincent D'Onofrio, actually survived, but we don't know in what capacity yet, but he is confirmed to be in the Echo series, so we'll see how that turns out. Of course, the in-person crowd got a first look sneak peek trailer at the series, so hopefully we will be getting that in public very soon, and I'm pretty sure this is one of those that is slated to be released in 2023. Speaking of Kingpin himself, he wasn't even allowed to leave the stage when Echo was done because, of course, they went directly into Daredevil Born Again. Charlie Cox came out and they had a little bit of a fake face-off, which was just amazing to see. We love these guys. We love them to death, especially together. They really have done Daredevil justice in every aspect. There will be an 18-episode Disney Plus series, and unfortunately production isn't underway yet, but this is still slated for a 2023 release. Instead, what fans were treated to was a special clip of Daredevil from the She-Hulk series, Attorney at Law. Hopefully a clip that we'll be able to see in show very soon, since I believe She-Hulk has 9 episodes and 6 of them are already streaming. And of course, my favorite, they brought my favorite MCU actor slash character on stage, my man Anthony Mackie, to talk a little bit about his new movie, Captain America: New World Order. The biggest piece of news here was actually the return of Tim Blake Nelson, who has been confirmed to be playing the leader, which we all assumed he would be after that cliffhanger in 2008's The Incredible Hulk. Tim, of course, expressed his gratitude for being brought back and also his excitement for being able to finish the journey that he started. And to be honest, I'm very excited to see him back and to see what he's going to be bringing to this role. Can I call it or can I call it? All right, I can't take all the credit for this one, but of course, the Thunderbolts we seen coming, not only seen coming, but we just knew it was going to be something exciting like this, but it's even more exciting than we thought. We have the official lineup for the Thunderbolts here. As you can see, we have Bucky, Ghost, V, Jay, I forgot her name, David Harbour as Red Guardian, Taskmaster, John Walker as US Agent now. And I'm really hoping, since she's in front and she is definitely the most bombastic of this crew, Yelena as the leader. Most of the stars were there on stage. Unfortunately, Florence had to be elsewhere for other purposes, but she sent a video talking a bit about the character and how she evolved and the overall project. So we are super excited to see a villain team up that works. So we are definitely 100% excited to see what they're going to do with the Thunderbolts, which is slated for July 26, 2024 release. Don't worry about why I said it like that. And then finally we move to the Marvels, something I'm also excited about, but then again, that's pretty obvious with all Marvel properties. Of course, they had all starring 3 beautiful women on stage, with Miss Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and of course Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers herself. Thankfully, we have a little under a year to only wait for this, as this is going to be released in July of 2023. Definitely something excited. Of course, the fans in person got a first look at some of the footage from the Marvels. From what was told online about the footage, they'll be explaining, of course, why at the end of Miss Marvel's Disney Plus series, her and Captain Marvel switched places. It has something to do with the connection of all 3 of their powers, and when they're activated or something of the sort, they swap places. So this is 100% going to be a fun, hopefully even family-oriented type of movie, where we have Monica Rambeau and Captain Marvel, who may be at odds for whatever reason Monica was mentioning in WandaVision, and Miss Marvel hopefully being the glue to bring them back together. I mean, like, yeah, I guess I did say we were going to talk about it, so I guess we can talk about it. 20th Century Studios really didn't have a showcase, but they have a James Cameron. So of course, James had to bring the cast and crew out for the upcoming Avatar: The Way of the Water. I believe they already got confirmed for a 3 and a 4. To be honest, I think they're already done filming 3. I believe they're starting on post-production for 4. And I think they may have been already confirmed for 5. There's a lot going on here with Avatar. I like the first Avatar movie, don't get me wrong, but I'm so confused. I was like, I guess it's because it's James Cameron, so I guess he just got that clout, he's got the juice, and studios are gonna throw money at him. Okay. But so yeah, basically some brand new footage from The Way of Water was shown to the people in person. God, I hate having to say that, but it is definitely something to look forward to. Be honest, there's a lot going on at once with Avatar, so I'm just hoping James can really pull it all off. But of course, being the legendary director and maker and creator that he is, I have no doubt that he will. But I do believe he's gonna have to come up with some very interesting concepts for like people like myself. It's just like, it was cool, and now the second aspect is kind of bringing family into it and probably even bringing some old antagonists back as well. But I don't see how this will branch out into a 3rd or 4th and even maybe possibly a 5th movie. But like I said, anybody can do it. It's James. Well, that was definitely a huge beast of a hype train that I was very excited and enjoyed immensely, even if I had to follow Twitter page posts to follow along. But don't get me wrong, this was just one showcase out of a whole weekend. There was a lot talked about at D23, so let me know what you enjoyed and what you liked the most that came out of the D23 weekend through either the comment section below or through my Twitter or Instagram at IBFamousWDS. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. If you liked it, be sure to like, comment, all that. Also, be sure to subscribe and share my channel as much as possible. My goal, to be honest, is to basically grow big enough to either just join another YouTube channel's network or start my own network. Really anything, so I don't have to edit my own videos ever again. And with that being said, that's it for this video. Future Dwight, play me out.